What is up, guys? BTCG here today with the top 10 decks for the World Championships 2018 in Nashville, Tennessee. Um, so yeah, this list is mostly predictable, and I decided to do the top 10 a little bit differently this time. Instead of just putting, like, different bullet points, I've separated the bullet points into the variants of the deck, the flaws, and the strengths of the deck. So let's get into it. So, number 10 we have Yveltal, 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 however the hell you pronounce it. I've heard many different pronunciations. I think it's Yveltal, but whatever. So it really has just two variants, essentially. The break version with, like, Hoopa and, like, Tapu Koko and stuff. And then I have seen some people playing Yveltal EX and Garbodor. Both have pretty good speed. They can set up relatively quickly. Their typing is good. It's dark, so it can hit things like Dawn Wings for weakness. And it can resist fighting, which is pretty cool against Baby Buzzle. For the break, the Hoopa is very nice against Zerg, but it's still a pretty tough matchup. And then the ability lock with the EX version is also very nice. So some flaws, the break gets pretty clunky, which I do not like, and the Zerg matchup, even with Hoopa, isn't ideal. Number 9 is Volcania, relatively simple deck. There aren't really any variants. The strengths it has are essentially that it's quick and can take things out very easily. And it has a decent type. Not many things are water, like Greninja and Lapras is really it. But it can hit Metal and Grass for weakness, which is pretty useful. The Zoroark matchup is pretty tough. It's definitely doable, but it's still kind of tough. Just because Zoroark is kind of better. Ability lock is pretty hard to deal with, and then the heavy retreat costs can be a pain sometimes. Not always, but it can be a pain. Number 8, we have Zygarde. There's the Lycanroc version, there's the Buzzle version. I think Lycanroc's the best, by the way. There's the Garbodor version, which is okay. And the one that just plays like Bonnie and is like Turbo Zygarde. The strengths, its typing is pretty good, so it hits Zoroark for weakness. It gets energy pretty fast with Cell Connector. The fighting support right now, like Brooklet Hill, Diancie, Strong Energy, Scorched Earth, is really nice for this deck. And then Verdict GX is really nice because it basically gives you another turn without getting attacked, usually. And the flaws, really just that it's weak to grass is a big thing, and then it gets really awkward hands a lot of the time, so that's why it's only at number 8. Number 7 is Greninja. There's the break version, there's a GX and break version, and there's just a GX. I'm really just talking about the break. The other versions I don't think are really viable. But it's a one-price attacker that can have ability lock and spread damage, and it does not use much energy. That sounds like the dream. But you can get ability locked by yourself, and that's a problem. Its weakness is kind of bad. Grass weakness is pretty bad right now because of Gliscopod. And it's very inconsistent. And it can get wrecked by decks that play Giratina. So that's why it is only at number 7. Naganadel, which is a deck that I absolutely hate, is so dumb, but I think it might actually be good this time around. So there's two versions of it. There's the metal one with like Sakataka, Kartana, Duskmane, Celestial, that stuff, which I think is the better version, especially because of Kartana. And then there's the fighting one with like Buzzle, which is okay, but I definitely think that and there's like a psychic one, I guess I forgot, but that's not really good at all. That's not even good at all. But I think the metal version is definitely better. Naganadel has a 1 energy attack. You can discard special energies off of your opponent, and you can hit for psychic weakness, which is pretty good. The problems is it gets pretty inconsistent with the amount of the Pokemon that you play to get Beast Raid to do a lot of damage. The weakness is awful, being Psychic type, and then Ability Lock kind of messes with it, because you can't use Slice Off or whatever Sakataka's ability is, I don't remember. But, number 5 is Malar. Ultra Necrozma, regular Necrozma, Shining Lugia, or the one prize version. Right now, I actually think that Ultra Necrozma is going to be better. I usually am advocating for regular Necrozma being way better, but right now I think Ultra Necrozma is going to be better just because of the other decks running around. It gets energy really fast and can usually pull out a one-shot. It's basic attackers, which is stage 1, so it's not hard to set up. The weaknesses are all pretty bad. Ability Lock wrecks this deck, and then it can be kind of inconsistent just with the amount of attackers that you play. But it's still a very good choice, and I think will be a top contender for Worlds. Number 4, we have just, like, Garbodor in general. There's, like, Buzzle, there's Zoroark, there's Golisopod, there's Espeon, there's even, like, Rayquaza and Duskmane. And Uxie Mesprit, which I have tested. Spicy, but I won't go into details there. It's not good, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, it has really good typing, being able to knock out Buzzle GXs very easily and Necrozma GXs very easily. Ability Lock is insane. Just basically, if you notice, almost everything, one of the flaws in it is Ability Lock. So, just keep that in mind. And it does, Trash Lynch usually does a lot of damage for just 1 energy. Field Blower can be a problem because they can play it on their turn and then regain their abilities. Your opponent managing their items can be a problem because then Trash Lynch doesn't do damage. That's why you don't just play straight Garbodor, you play one of the other attackers to the left. And it can be very inconsistent, especially late game, especially if they end. So, that's unfortunate. So this slide is broken a little bit. But this is Buzzle. There's a Lycanroc version, there's the Garbodor version, and there's the, like, Turbo version. Lycanroc is definitely better. Garbodor's pretty good, and Turbo Buzz is awful. But there's fast energies, high damage, one prize attacker is really nice, and the new Fighting and Ultra Beast support from Forbidden Light helped it a lot. It can dead draw due to the energies, how many energies you play, which is a problem. And it is weak to Psychic, and it's teched for very easily with, like, Mew EX, Deoxys, the new Deoxys, Mewtwo, Mew, or Choreo, you know, basically all the Psychic stuff can counter it pretty easily. Next is Zoroark, which there's a ton of variants. This is not even all of them. There's Lycanroc, Golisopod, Magcargo, Shiftry, Bayonet, Lucario, Oranguru, Garbodor, Gallade, Counterbox, Uxie, Mesprit, Gardevoir. There's so many. But these are, like, the main ones that I think are actually viable, and maybe Zoroark, Gardevoir. That's really it. It has built-in draw power, so that's really good. You can always find room for techs, you know, Deoxys, Mew EX, Sylveon EX, you know, yeah. And it's really easy to set up. Aside from Shiftry, they're all stage 1s, so you can get them into play very quickly. And they all use relatively low energy counts, except Magcargo. You don't really attack with Magcargo, but Garbodor kind of wrecks this deck when you don't have abilities. It is weak to fighting, which is a problem, and if you don't go first, you might have some trouble. The last one is Rayquaza, which there's just a few variants. The only thing that I think is viable is Garbodor, really, but I've seen Lantern, I've seen Vikavolt, I've seen Magazone. Basically, this is the same as Volcania on EX, actually. Consistent, it's fast, it one-shots, but it's teched for pretty easily and gets wrecked by Ability Lock. But overall, it is super strong, super consistent. I usually get out 4 to 5 energies on the first turn. It's really nice. Anyway, leave a like and subscribe to CatapTCG for more deck profiles. And my phone is ringing. Well, perfect timing, because I'm ending the video. Bye-bye!